So it's gonna be a really different kind of video. It's about DoorDash, but let me just start it off with this. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you're watching this video, you have an interest in DoorDash, you have an interest in being successful at DoorDash, if you've had any success doing DoorDash, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Let me tell you why. You guys have totally upset, turned over the service economy in the United States of America, especially the food service economy. But let's get right to the video. Hopefully it won't be as long as it could be. I'll try to keep it as short as I possibly can. But we all have a tendency to start having a bad day and want to go home because we've had so many good days. I talked to a vendor, and one question the vendor had for me is, how come people start out so gangbusters on DoorDash and then kind of level off? Because, and here's my thoughts on that, is because once you've had a $300 day, or if you're not working full time, you've had a $200 day, it's harder to accept a $250 day or a $150 day, you know. But when we first started, we would have thought a $150 day or $250 day was great, you know. And how many days have we had that started out slow and it ended up being a great day? Way more days like that than we started out slow and it stays slow the whole time. Because what happens is a bunch of people do go home, and then that leaves us, the people who have faith, who keep the faith, around to get the benefits of it when it does pop. And most of the time, it pops at least a little bit. Yesterday is a perfect example for me, and that's what is one of the things that has inspired this video. So yesterday I get to Chesterfield around 9:30, 10, somewhere around there. It was pretty early. I'd rather, when days that I can, I'd rather grind a little bit in the morning than at night when all the restaurants are completely closed, right? Because I have goals that I want to meet, and I want to get started on them, okay? So I get there, my first delivery is a 575, I think it was 3.1 miles from Panera, right on Lee Oak there in Chesterfield. I shoot up there, and they got one guy behind the counter. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, how you DoorDashers have totally upset the apple cart as far as the food service industry goes. And Panera's not even a fast food place. I wouldn't call it one. There's one guy behind the counter on Saturday morning doing what we usually see during the week, 3, 4, 5 people there, right? Insane, right? Maybe it was because it was still pretty early. There's not a bag anywhere. There's a bunch of people with masks on in there, which usually means DoorDash, right? And so I take advantage of it. I go to the bathroom, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think I gave it at least 10 minutes. But after I heard the guy say, I'm 35 minutes behind, I didn't give it much more time. I unassigned from that order. So let's fast forward. I'm trying to make this video as quick as I can to 11:40, right? Or 11:35, somewhere around there. I've made a whole $20. I've been out for an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. I've made $20. You know? And that's just the way it is on Saturday. You never, ever know what's going to happen. So I get up. I've had thoughts about going home, man. There's so much stuff I could do. Today is Saturday. I could have fun, relax, blah, 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 whatever. But I get a $19, 15-mile delivery from Sauce on the side. You know, usually it would have been a little bit more of a decision whether or not I was even going to do it. But it doubled my pay for that day. Of course I did it. I accept, you know. So I accept that. Right behind that, I get a $15 Dunkin' Donuts stacked order for 9 additional miles. So it's like a crazy Uber Eats delivery for DoorDash. $34 for 24 miles. So it's even more worth doing, of course. I would have done that any day of the week. But the Dunkin' Donuts is at least seven dozen donuts, so I'm hoping for a hidden tip on that, of course. 2 great big bags. I get it. That delivery ends up paying $27 all by itself. The next order still only paid $19, so that's $46. The second biggest delivery I ever got, I'm pretty sure. I was back in Chesterfield by 1:40, so it didn't even take me an hour to do. It made $46. And then made my pay go from 20 to 66. The moral of the story is I ended up making $300 yesterday. But the first 2 hours I made $20. But I kept the faith. I'm going to do what I have to. I'm doing this to eat. And I just can't go home on a Saturday. Not really. And I could have even made more. I had a messed up delivery in the night. It's a whole other video. So don't give up. And here's why. The corporate establishment, and that is all these corporations that own these restaurants, and the government, maybe not the whole government, but don't think that the corporate dollars that the government gets, these politicians get, don't have a lot of influence, because they obviously 100% do. And here's the example. During the election, and it's been proposed a lot, that we were going to have a $15 minimum wage. And all these corporations fought it, all that stuff, and it didn't happen, right? Well, because you all have decided not to do those jobs anymore, you're doing stuff like this instead, it's $15 anyway. It's higher than $15 in some places. I've talked to many times about Chick-fil-A having a sign on the door. They're paying $16 an hour to their full-time employees. Chick-fil-A. So, like, Amazon and all them have to raise their pay too. And that's because of you guys. You guys, whether you're doing gig work or whether you've just made a decision that you're not willing to do that type of work for that type of pay anymore, you guys did it all on your own. I'm a little older, so I'm not going to include myself in that 100%. But it's going to influence the stuff that I do too. Truck driving, for instance. I'm in the trucking industry. I'm a trucking manager. Made all kinds of money. Grateful for it. Grateful for the company I worked at. Don't get it twisted. But there's no truck drivers either. And the reason why, let me tell you why, is because to be a successful truck driver, it's all based on working 70 hours a week. And people just are rejecting that. There's got to be something better that I can do, whether it's buying my own truck, or which is rampant right now, or just finding something else to do. One thing the pandemic has taught us is life's too short to give it all to these corporations. And I'm talking about the good ones. And I gotta watch what I say because I'm looking for a job. I'm not saying every company's like this, but even the good ones are like this, right? What about I'm about ready to say? They want to hire you, and this kind of makes sense in the business model, for as least as they possibly can, and work you as hard as they possibly can, and they want you to appreciate them for it. And they are real careful about shoving appreciation to you, because as you stay there, in a lot of corporations' business model, you become to them that mindset of a liability rather than an asset, because they think, they feel, they believe that they can replace you with somebody making less money, and that's why you should appreciate them so much, even though will continue to give you more and more work and more work. And this isn't something that I've said, because, if you get on YouTube and you watch the news, I mean, tons and tons of people are quitting their jobs because they don't feel valued. So things like this, DoorDash, where you're basically paid on the amount of work that you do, I think that's what we all, or a lot of us, desire. But the work does have to be available. But as time goes on, I think that it's going to be more and more something that we all are going to have to do. We're going to have to do our own thing. We're going to have to figure out ways to do our own thing. And that has already affected change. We see it every day. I mean, I was in Buffalo Wild Wings last night, and it was trashed. Now, I might never go there again because you just have to wait too long. But I don't go to the one on Manchester. This is the one in Chesterfield. The reason, one of the only reason, I was still trying to give them a chance. Because, you can't limit yourself too much. But I got there, and I probably waited 15 minutes. But it kind of destroyed the rest of my night because it was pretty late. And I was this close to getting 300, right? So, they probably had 20 tables just trashed. And people were walking out because they were waiting too long to get a table. It was wild. Then the next deliveries I made, it's either the one right after or the next one. I think it was the one right after. They had closed the kitchen early, and people were mad. I mean, just mad. Because they just can't, because you guys won't work there anymore. Because you're doing other stuff. They were blaming it on the double unemployment and all that. That's all gone. That money's been gone. It's been gone in Missouri for months. So you can't blame it on double unemployment anymore. That's been gone for months, right? It's because of you all. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys have really upset the apple cart, man, in an unbelievable positive way. And you know why you should never give up? You know why you should stick around? You know why you should keep doing this kind of stuff? Just don't give them the satisfaction, man. Don't give them the satisfaction. We all, I'm 55 years old. My days are numbered as far as being able to affect this kind of positive change. But you guys, man, you've done it. You've done it in a really significant way. It's really amazing to see, and it's not just it's a lot, the restaurant service industry, but Walmart's the same way. I go in the Walgreens to pick up stuff, and you can't find somebody to help you. There's Walmarts that don't even have registers open anymore. It's all self-checkout. Now, a lot of people tell you that's bad. I'm not going to tell you that, because there's nobody who wants to do those jobs anymore, and especially not for the money they're willing to pay. But I think, and I've read about it several times, Walmart has increased their pay to this. Walmart has increased their pay to this. I think they're up to $15 an hour. So we don't need the politicians to do it. You guys have done it yourselves, and it's wild. It's wild to experience. The robots can't get here quick enough, and it's not going to put people out of work that are making $15 an hour at the restaurants now. It's going to replace the people who won't work for that. You're always going to have people. Because, okay, so let's say they go to all robots, right? They're not going to be able to do that. Let me tell you why. Because those robots are going to break down. And what happens when they break down? You're going to have people do it. You know what I mean? Bottom line. Okay, they break down right now because of the way things are. They probably couldn't get parts for them, right? The restaurants can't even get. I was at a Taco Bell yesterday without a refried bean. You know what I mean? They can't even get the stuff because they can't find the workers to bring it to them. They need, and I'm going to shove about the robot thing because I talk about it way too much. They need the robots to replace people not working, but to replace people who won't do the work. This video is already getting too long. I'm not a 30-minute video guy. But I wouldn't doubt this, and this sounds really crazy, right? That if this gets worse, which some people say it's going to get better, I don't know. I don't know if it is. The average, let's go back to truck driving, something I know a lot about. The average age for a truck driver is about 50-something. Is that going to improve? Because those 50-year-olds are going to age out. You know? How many 60-year-old, 65-year-old people are going to work 70 hours a week? Things are going to have to change, man. And it doesn't have to do with anything to do with replacing people. It's doing jobs that we won't do. But that's not even what I was thinking about. I'm thinking that they may have to go recruit people over the border. Is that crazy? Does that sound crazy? Does that sound insane? That I'm thinking that's one of the steps that might have to be taken. That they would have to go into Mexico to find workers to bring back to the United States to work. You know, and they're definitely going to do more things to make it legal. If things continue like this, if you all don't give up, if you all keep the faith, maybe DoorDash ain't your thing. There's other stuff. Find it. We're all, as time goes by, going to have to do our own thing. We're all going to be LLCs, you know, successful people, you know, and with this, and it used to be. The information wasn't out there, things like that. But technology, yeah, they say it's going to take over the world, but it's also going to make it so much easier for us to do our own thing as time goes by. DoorDash is just a small example of that. We're still beholden to them. You know, I hear about people getting deactivated and stuff like that. You know, and I've made a video about how grateful I am to DoorDash. Don't get it twisted. And, you know, you don't... and I'm not saying every corporation's bad. I'm going to go work for one thing. You know? But I'm proud of you guys.